Bruce Lee and Bolo Yeung, two legends and two names that resonate with martial arts enthusiasts around the world. In Enter the Dragon, their on-screen presence electrified audiences. But what if I told you they had a real fight that most people never knew about? A moment behind the scenes where raw skill and power clashed away from the Hollywood spotlight. Today, we're uncovering Bruce Lee's real fight with Bolo Yeung that you missed. A showdown that left those who witnessed it in awe. But what happened and who came out on top? Let's find out. The setup. A fight that almost was. The story of Bruce Lee and Bolo Yeung's real fight begins not in a ring or on a movie set, but in the creative process behind one of the most iconic martial arts films of all time, Enter the Dragon. This film, released in 1973, was Bruce Lee's magnum opus, a project that would cement his legacy as a global martial arts icon. But behind the scenes, a fight scene never made it to the silver screen. Bruce meticulously choreographed an epic showdown between his character and Bolo. The fight was meant to be a centerpiece of the film, a clash of philosophies as much as physical abilities. With his Jeet Kune Do, Bruce represented speed, precision, and adaptability. With his imposing physique and raw power, Be on the Lookout embodied brute strength and intimidation. It was a matchup that promised to be unforgettable. However, as production progressed, decisions made by Warner Brothers led to significant changes in the film's script. Bolo Yeung's role was drastically reduced, and the fight scene that Bruce had planned was cut entirely. The decision to reduce Bolo Yeung's role and cut the planned fight scene between him and Bruce Lee was a strategic move by Warner Brothers to streamline the narrative of Enter the Dragon and focus the story more sharply on Bruce Lee's character and his ultimate showdown with the film's main antagonist, Han, played by Shikin. Han, the enigmatic and ruthless crime lord, was central to the film's plot. His character represented the ultimate challenge for Bruce Lee's protagonist, a symbol of corruption and evil that needed to be defeated. The climactic fight between Bruce and Han was designed to be the emotional and physical pinnacle of the movie, a confrontation that would leave audiences on the edge of their seats. Warner Brothers believed that adding another major fight scene, such as the one between Bruce and Bolo, could dilute the impact of this showdown. But before delving more into this fight, let's first look back at the origins of Bruce Lee and Bolo Yeung. The Dragon and the Beast. Origins of two martial arts legends. Long before their paths crossed on the set of Enter the Dragon, Bruce Lee and Bolo Yeung forged their legacies through remarkably different journeys. Their contrasting origins ultimately shaped them into the martial arts icons we recognize today. Bruce Lee's story began in San Francisco in 1940, though he was raised in Hong Kong. Born into a family with connections to the entertainment world, his father was a Cantonese opera performer. Bruce was exposed to performance arts from an early age. His initial martial arts training started at 13 under the legendary Wing Chun master, Ip Man. This wasn't merely a hobby. It was a necessity. Hong Kong street gangs made self-defense a vital skill, and young Bruce found himself in numerous street fights that tested his abilities in real combat situations. What set Bruce apart was his refusal to confine himself to traditional boundaries. While most martial artists of his era dedicated themselves to a single style, Bruce began questioning limitations. He studied boxing, fencing, and various other combat forms, extracting what he found effective and discarding what he considered impractical. This revolutionary approach would eventually lead to the development of Jeet Kune Do, a philosophy emphasizing adaptability over rigid form. At 18, Bruce returned to America with just $100 in his pocket. While attending the University of Washington, he supported himself by teaching martial arts, introducing Western students to concepts that challenged established Eastern traditions. His approach was controversial among traditional martial artists, who viewed his willingness to teach non-Chinese students and his hybridization of techniques as disrespectful to ancient traditions. Bolo Yeung's journey, on the other hand, began in Guangzhou, China. Born in 1946, his path to martial arts stardom couldn't have been more different from Bruce's. While Bruce questioned traditions, Bolo immersed himself in them, beginning his training in classical Chinese martial arts as a child with immense discipline. However, Bolo's physical development took an unexpected turn when he discovered bodybuilding, a Western practice relatively uncommon in China at the time. Combining intense strength training with his martial arts background, he developed an extraordinarily muscular physique that became his trademark. By 20, he had already won the Mr. Hong Kong bodybuilding champion title, holding it for an impressive decade. While Bruce revolutionized martial arts in America and created his combat system, Bolo leveraged his unique combination of traditional martial arts skills and imposing physicality to break into Hong Kong cinema. His distinct appearance, massive muscles coupled with surprising agility, made him the perfect casting choice for intimidating villains. Bruce's journey back to Hong Kong came after facing barriers in Hollywood. Despite creating the concept for the TV show Kung Fu, he was passed over for the lead role in favor of David Carradine. Returning to Hong Kong, he quickly became a superstar in films like The Big Boss and Fist of Fury, showcasing his fighting abilities and charismatic screen presence. By the time Warner Brothers decided to produce Enter the Dragon, the first major Hollywood and Hong Kong co-production, these two men had established themselves as forces in martial arts cinema through entirely different paths. Bruce had become a philosophy-driven innovator who challenged martial arts conventions, while Bolo had perfected his role as the embodiment of traditional power and intimidating strength. The fighters, speed versus strength. To fully appreciate the dynamics of the real fight between Bruce Lee and Bolo Yeung, we must delve into these two martial arts legends' unique attributes and fighting styles. Their physical and technical differences were not just a matter of appearance. They represented two distinct philosophies of combat, each with its strengths and challenges. Standing 5 feet 8 inches and weighing around 141 pounds, Bruce Lee embodied speed, precision, and efficiency. His lean, muscular frame resulted from years of rigorous training and a disciplined lifestyle. Bruce's physique was not built for show. It was designed for function. Every muscle, every movement was optimized for combat. His Jeet Kune Do philosophy emphasized adaptability, using the most direct and efficient techniques to overcome an opponent. Bruce's speed was legendary. He could deliver a punch or a kick in the blink of an eye, often before his opponent could react. His strikes were fast and precise, targeting vulnerable points with surgical accuracy. However, Bruce's physical attributes were only part of what made him a formidable fighter. His mental acuity was equally impressive. Bruce was a master strategist, able to read his opponent's movements and anticipate their next move. He believed in the importance of being like water, fluid, adaptable, and capable of flowing around obstacles. This mindset allowed him to adjust his tactics mid-fight, exploiting weaknesses and capitalizing on opportunities. On the other hand, Bolo Yeung was a raw strength and endurance powerhouse. At 5 feet 6 inches and approximately 154 pounds, Bolo's physique starkly contrasted with Bruce's lean frame. His muscular build resulted from years of bodybuilding and weight training, giving him a level of physical power that few could match. Bolo's strength was not just in his arms or legs but in his entire body. He could deliver devastating blows with his fists, elbows, and knees, and his ability to absorb punishment was equally impressive. Bolo's fighting style was rooted in his physicality. He relied on his strength to overpower opponents, using his size and power to dominate the fight. His approach was straightforward but effective. Close the distance, land heavy strikes, and wear down his opponent through sheer force. The contrast between Bruce and Bolo was not just physical but philosophical. Bruce's Jeet Kune Do was about efficiency and adaptability, while Bolo's approach was about raw power and dominance. These differences set the stage for a fascinating clash of styles, testing their physical abilities and mental fortitude. Bruce's speed and precision gave him a tactical advantage in movement and striking. He could dart in and out of range, landing quick strikes before retreating to safety. His ability to control the pace of the fight allowed him to dictate the terms of engagement, forcing his opponent to react rather than act. This was a key aspect of Bruce's strategy. He believed in staying one step ahead of his opponent, physically and mentally. Bolo relied on his strength to impose his will on the fight. He aimed to close the distance and use his power to overwhelm his opponent. While this approach could be highly effective in shorter, more explosive encounters, it posed challenges in a prolonged fight. Bolo's muscular frame required significant energy to maintain, which could lead to fatigue over time. This was a critical factor in his sparring match with Bruce for Enter the Dragon, where endurance played a key role in the outcome. The roles they played, Bruce Lee and Bolo Yeung in Enter the Dragon. The sparring match between Bruce Lee and Bolo Yeung may have happened off-screen, but their on-screen roles in Enter the Dragon were pivotal to the film's success. Both men brought something unique, contributing to the movie's enduring legacy as a martial arts masterpiece. Their characters, though different, were integral to the story, each playing a crucial role in shaping the narrative and elevating the film to iconic status. Bruce Lee, of course, was the heart and soul of Enter the Dragon. As the protagonist, Lee embodied the ideals of discipline, honor, and justice. His character was a skilled martial artist recruited by a secret intelligence agency to infiltrate a martial arts tournament hosted by the enigmatic crime lord, Han. The tournament served as a front for Han's illegal activities, and it was up to Lee to uncover the truth and bring him to justice. Bruce's role in the film was more than just that of a hero. He symbolized martial arts philosophy. His character's journey reflected Bruce's beliefs. His commitment to self-improvement, respect for his opponents, and an unwavering sense of justice. Every fight scene, every line of dialogue, and every moment of introspection was infused with Bruce's philosophy, making his character a true extension of himself. One of the most iconic aspects of Bruce's role was his fight scenes, each meticulously choreographed to showcase his physical prowess and innovative martial arts approach. The mirror room fight, in particular, remains one of the most celebrated sequences in cinematic history. It was a perfect blend of action, symbolism, and technical brilliance, a testament to Bruce's genius as a martial artist and a filmmaker. On the other hand, Bolo Yeung played a very different but equally important role in the film. As Bolo, Han's fierce and intimidating henchman, he embodied raw power and menace. His character starkly contrasted with Bruce's, brutal, ruthless, and unrelenting. Bolo's presence added a layer of tension and danger to the film, making him a memorable antagonist despite his limited screen time. Bolo's role may have been smaller than originally planned, but he made every moment count. His physicality and intensity left a lasting impression, and his fight scenes were a highlight of the film. His character's menacing aura contributed to the film's sense of stakes and urgency. Interestingly, the cut fight scene between Bruce and Bolo would have added another layer to this dynamic. It would have been a clash of philosophies, a physical manifestation of the film's central conflict. While the scene never made it to the final cut, the sparring match off-screen was a real-life counterpart to this on-screen rivalry. Bruce and Bolo brought their real-life personas into their roles, adding depth and authenticity to their characters. Bruce's charisma and intensity made him a compelling hero, while Bolo's imposing presence made him a formidable villain. Together, they helped create a film that was not only entertaining but also thought-provoking, celebrating martial arts and the values it represents. Tension rises, the unspoken competition on set. The set of Enter the Dragon wasn't just another film production. It represented an unprecedented gathering of martial arts talent. While Bruce Lee and Bolo Yeung commanded attention with their contrasting physiques and styles, they were surrounded by a constellation of legitimate martial artists who witnessed the building tension between these two icons. Jim Kelly, the karate champion who played Williams, observed the professional intensity between Bruce and Bolo during training sessions. As someone who held the International Middleweight Karate Championship before entering film, Kelly understood the unspoken competitive energy between high-level martial artists. The training area became an unofficial arena where skills were demonstrated between takes, with each man subtly pushing the boundaries of what they would show. This competitive display didn't escape Bob Wall, who portrayed the villain O'Hara and was a legitimate karate black belt. Wall spent considerable time working with both men on fight choreography and recognized the fundamental differences in their approaches. Bruce emphasized speed, precision, and his revolutionary concepts of efficiency, while Bolo showcased power moves that highlighted his formidable strength. Two distinct martial philosophies embodied in human form. The contrast became even more apparent during filming breaks, when martial artists would gather to exchange techniques. Sammo Hung and Jackie Chan, working as stunt performers before their later stardom, watched attentively as Bruce demonstrated his lightning-fast kicks and one-inch punch. What impressed these future legends wasn't just Bruce's speed, but the scientific precision behind each movement. Meanwhile, Bolo would showcase feats of strength, leaving even these seasoned martial artists in awe. Anyone observing could see the fundamental difference. Bruce's explosive speed versus Bolo's raw power, each man silently making his case for superiority. As filming progressed, this professional rivalry intensified. When Warner Brothers' decision to reduce Bolo's role became clear during the final week of production, the atmosphere on set noticeably shifted. The other martial artists could sense that something unplanned was brewing beneath the surface. The reduced screen time wasn't just a disappointment. It had inadvertently created the conditions for a real confrontation that would test which martial philosophy truly reigned supreme. The fight, a test of endurance. When the fighting scene was cut from the film, Bolo did something bold. He challenged Bruce Lee to a real sparring match. Bruce, never one to back down from a challenge, accepted without hesitation. This wouldn't be a choreographed movie fight with rehearsed moves and dramatic pauses. This was going to be raw, unfiltered, and real. The two men stepped into the ring, not as actors but as martial artists ready to test their skills against each other. Bruce Lee, ever the strategist, started the fight by using his speed to control the pace. He moved with the fluidity of water, darting in and out of range, landing quick strikes before Bolo could react. Bruce's movements were unpredictable, a hallmark of his Jeet Kune Do philosophy. He didn't rely on fixed patterns or techniques but adapted to Bolo's movements, exploiting openings and creating opportunities. His strikes were precise and calculated, targeting vulnerable points with surgical accuracy. Bruce's goal was clear: to wear Bolo down through speed, precision, and relentless pressure. Bolo Yeung relied on his raw power to impose his will on the fight. His approach was straightforward but effective: close the distance and use his strength to overwhelm Bruce. Bolo's strikes were heavy and forceful, each with the potential to end the fight. He aimed to land a decisive blow that would shift the momentum in his favor. However, Bruce's agility and speed made this a difficult task. Every time Bolo tried to close the distance, Bruce would evade, counter, and retreat, leaving Bolo frustrated and off balance. As the fight progressed, the difference in their conditioning became apparent. Bruce's lean physique allowed him to maintain his speed and precision, while Bolo's muscular frame began to take its toll. Carrying so much muscle mass required tremendous energy, and Bolo's movements slowed. His strikes, once powerful and explosive, became sluggish and predictable. Bruce, on the other hand, seemed to be just warming up. His movements remained sharp, his strikes precise, and his energy levels high. By the 10-minute mark, Bolo was visibly fatigued. His breathing was heavy, his movements labored, and his strikes lacked their earlier power. Bruce, sensing an opportunity, began to press the attack. He increased the fight's tempo, landing rapid combinations and forcing Bolo to defend. Bruce's ability to maintain his speed and precision over an extended period was a testament to his rigorous training regimen and emphasis on functional strength and endurance. Bolo, despite his fatigue, continued to fight back. His determination and resilience were evident, but the physical toll of the fight was becoming too much to bear. Every time he tried to mount an offensive, Bruce would counter with a flurry of strikes, forcing Bolo back on the defensive. The fight had become a test of endurance, and it was clear that Bruce had the upper hand. In the end, Bolo had to concede. He simply couldn't keep up with Bruce's relentless pace. The fight had taken everything out of him, and he was physically spent. Bruce, on the other hand, seemed to be just getting started. His energy levels were still high, and his movements remained sharp and precise. The fight's outcome was a testament to Bruce's superior conditioning and ability to maintain his speed and precision over an extended period. This sparring match was more than just a physical contest. It validated Bruce Lee's martial arts philosophy. His emphasis on functional strength, speed, and efficiency proved to be the deciding factor in the fight. While Bolo's raw power was impressive, it was no match for Bruce's relentless pace and precision. The fight highlighted the importance of endurance in martial arts, a lesson that resonates with fighters today. The encounter between Bruce Lee and Bolo Yeung was a clash of styles, a battle of wills, and a test of endurance. It showcased the best of both fighters, but in the end, Bruce carried the day. The aftermath, what this fight revealed. The sparring match between Bruce Lee and Bolo Yeung was a revealing moment that shed light on both fighters' strengths and limitations. While the fight's outcome was decisive, it offered valuable insights into martial arts principles and the importance of conditioning, strategy, and adaptability. For Bolo Yeung, the fight was a humbling experience. His raw power and muscular physique had always been his greatest assets, but the sparring match exposed a critical weakness: endurance. Carrying so much muscle mass required a tremendous amount of energy, and as the fight progressed, Bolo's movements slowed, his strikes lost their power, and his ability to defend himself diminished. This was not a reflection of his skill or determination, but rather a limitation imposed by his physicality. Bolo's strength was undeniable, but it came at a cost. His muscular frame, while impressive, was not built for prolonged combat. The fight revealed that raw power alone was not enough to secure victory in a battle of endurance. However, it's important to note that Bolo's performance was still remarkable. Lasting 10 minutes in an intense sparring match against Bruce Lee was no small feat. Bolo's resilience and determination were evident throughout the fight, and his ability to push through fatigue spoke volumes about his character. While he may have lost the match, he gained something equally valuable: a deeper understanding of his limitations and the areas where he could improve. For Bolo, the fight was a learning experience that shaped his approach to martial arts in the future. For Bruce Lee, the fight validated his martial arts philosophy. His emphasis on functional strength, speed, and efficiency proved to be the deciding factors in the match. But beyond the physical aspects, the fight highlighted Bruce's mental acuity and strategic brilliance. His ability to read Bolo's movements, anticipate his strikes, and adapt his tactics mid-fight was a testament to his mastery of Jeet Kune Do. So what do you think? Was Bruce's speed and technique always destined to win the day? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into martial arts history.